Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through some player props I'm liking over on Prizepicks for today's NBA slate on Monday, November the 17th. We got 8 games on Monday night, so a relatively decent slate here, and I've got some early player props I'm liking on Prizepicks for this 8-game slate. We're going to record this video on Sunday night, so these are kind of my first looks, early looks at the board. Got 3 picks that we're going to give out in this video, and as always, we're going to break down these plays, give some information, some analysis behind why I like them. Now, before we do get started, guys, make sure that you hit that like button down below. If you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, make sure that you hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you are new to Prizepicks, and if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure that you go sign up. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. Play $5, you'll get $50 worth of free lineups just for signing up and using code NOAH. And then also, we do have a partnership with Sleeper, so I do want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper. If you guys are not on Sleeper yet, download the Sleeper app, use promo code NOAH over there. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. As well, you'll get a free $20 entry. So this is going to be a way for you to try out the Sleeper app pretty much risk-free. It's a free $20 entry. You get that, no deposit required, so you don't have to put in any money. It's a win-win for you guys. That's another reason you definitely need to be on Sleeper right now, because you can have a chance at building up a bankroll over there without even having to put any money in. So go check out Sleeper, guys. Make sure to, again, when you sign up, use that promo code NOAH. So that way you get that free $20 entry, and you also will still get your first deposit matched up to $100. But yeah, before we talk through our Prizepicks plays here for Monday, guys, I do want to recap the plays that we gave out in our last NBA video, which was on Friday. I did not do any NBA videos over the weekends. Right now on the weekend, I'm trying to just kind of focus on college football on Saturdays, NFL on Sundays. It's kind of tough doing NBA videos, in between that. But we did do an NBA video for Friday. Went 3-0 on our NBA plays on Friday. Went 3-0 on the video that we posted before that one, which was on Wednesday. I didn't do an NBA video for Thursday, but Wednesday 3-0. So 3-0 Wednesday, 3-0 Friday. Last 6 picks that we've given out on this YouTube channel were 6-0 in NBA. So just been crushing NBA lately. Been doing really well. Had a great weekend in NBA on the Patreon or in Patreon. I know again, I didn't post any NBA videos on YouTube, but I'm always giving out plays on Patreon. Went 3-0 on the 3 picks that we gave out Saturday. 5-0 on the 5 plays that we gave out Sunday. Turned my $5 protected play into $100. I know a lot of people on Prizepicks, I think everyone got a protected play. I only got a $5 protected play. I've won too much money on Prizepicks. I only get $5 discounts, bonuses. I can only bet $5 on anything. Like if I just take 2 random picks, I can just put, that's the most I can put on is $5. But I've won so much money. It's what happens when you win. You get limited. I'm limited on Prizepicks. I'm limited on other DFS apps as well. But just because I'm limited doesn't mean I can't help you guys win. And that's what I'm trying to do in the Patreon. Always trying to provide value, help you guys win. You can see the 5 plays that we gave out for Sunday's NBA slate. All fantasy score props. So I will say, if you have thought about joining the Patreon, would highly recommend that you take a look at the description, kind of see what I provide. It's a lot of fantasy score props. It's mainly just Prizepicks. So if you don't play Prizepicks, it's not really going to be worth it to you to subscribe. But I give out a lot of fantasy score props. That's where I find a lot of value. I mean, these lines were, they all bumped like 2 or 3 points. I think McCollum's line bumped up to like 29.5. We got it at 27.5. I think Anthony Black's went up to like 21.5. Draymond's went up to 27.5. I think Klingen's line went up a point or 2. Like, we're getting great value on the plays that we gave out, every day on Patreon. So if you want to get over there, get in this value with us, find, constantly just giving out winners every day, finding the best plays, the best values. Do that every day on Patreon. Check that out. Link down below. Again, it's only $20 per month, so it's very affordable. I see a lot of guys, around the industry, guys are charging $100 a month, $200 a month, like just insane prices. And that's because they're just scamming you. Like, they want you to subscribe. They want your money. They know you're not going to continue to subscribe. That's why they charge so much money, because they want to just get a quick 100 or a quick 200 out of you. And that's it. With me, I'm charging an amount that most people can afford to continue to resubscribe, and I know the picks are valuable to them. That's why they continue to resubscribe. I've had people in my Patreon that have been in there for years because I'm just constantly providing value, giving out picks that are we're getting 2, 3, 4 points of value on the picks I give out. So if you guys want to check it out, again, that's linked down below in the description. You can see all that I do provide in the Patreon package. But let's go ahead and talk about this slate for Monday, guys. And again, I bet a lot of fantasy score props. That's where I find a lot of value. That's where I think there's the biggest edge on Prizepicks. And Prizepicks does have a good amount of fantasy score lines up Sunday night, the night before. Typically, the night before, they don't have a lot of lines up for fantasy score, but they do right now. I got 3 picks I'm liking. Let's go ahead and break these down. So the first prop that I like is on VJ Edgecombe, and we're going to take him for more than 28 fantasy score. So the Sixers are dealing with some injuries here for this Monday night game. So Joel Embiid has already been ruled out for this game, as well as Kelly Oubre is out. And VJ Edgecombe, his role is pretty secure in this Sixers offense. Like, he's going to start and play 30-plus minutes a night. Like, you look at his minutes so far this season, I think he's like top 5 in the NBA when it comes to minutes per game. I think Tyrese Maxey's averaging like 40 minutes per game. VJ Edgecombe's averaging 37 minutes per game. He's just been playing a ton of minutes. And now without Kelly Oubre, I mean, his minutes are going to be even more secure. There's a chance he could play close to 40 minutes here. We know Nick Nurse, the Sixers coach, he is a coach that has historically played his guys big minutes. He runs a pretty tight rotation. So the minutes are going to be massive for Edgecombe here. And if you look at his production so far this season, he's averaging 0.87 fantasy points per minute, which is not bad. That's solid production. But if you look at what he's done without Kelly Oubre, he's actually been really good in the minutes he's played without Kelly Oubre. He's averaging 1.07 fantasy points per minute in the 88 minutes that he's played without Oubre this year. I know it's a small sample. Obviously, Edgecombe's a rookie, so we don't have like a big sample of him in the NBA. We've only seen him play in 12 games, I think. Yeah, 12 games this year. But in the minutes that he's played on the floor without Kelly Oubre, he's been more productive. He's been more productive as well in the minutes that he's played without Joel Embiid. Now, I do want to mention that we have Paul George potentially returning for the Sixers today. Paul George is listed as questionable, but Paul George is a player that has always dealt with injuries in his career. So I'm expecting if Paul George plays today that he's going to be on a pretty tight minutes restriction. I don't think he's really going to eat into Edgecombe's minutes at all. So I'm feeling pretty good about VJ Edgecombe playing 35 to 36 minutes here, if not maybe more. And he should average close to a fantasy point per minute. He's been, again, more productive without Kelly Oubre this year. Historically, so far in the NBA, in the 12 games we've seen him play in, he's been a pretty decent per minute producer. Matchup against the Clippers, I don't think it's that bad either. The Clippers, coming into this season, were expected to be good defensively, but the Clippers have actually really struggled defensively this year. They're on a back-to-back as well. I think this is a spot where we could definitely see, I think the Sixers are on a back-to-back, or the Clippers, I'm pretty sure they played Sunday, but let me check that just to confirm. I think they played the Celtics Sunday. Yeah, they did play the Celtics Sunday. So yeah, the Clippers are on a back-to-back as well. Like, this is definitely a spot where I could see the Sixers offense having success putting up points. And VJ Edgecombe should definitely have a bigger role, here in this game without Joel Embiid, without Kelly Oubre. Again, Paul George might return, make his debut today, but I think George is going to be on a pretty tight minutes restriction to where it's not really going to impact Edgecombe too much. So I like that as our first prop for Monday night. Next prop, another fantasy score line that we're going to take a look at. The one I like is Kyle Kuzma for more than 21.5 fantasy score. So we saw the Bucks change up their starting lineup in a recent game. It was against the Hornets, this game where Kuzma had 60.5 fantasy points. He wound up starting that game. Now, Kuzma has started 2 games. He started 2 games previously, but those were both without Giannis. So Kuzma has started the games that Giannis has missed this year. But we actually saw them start Kuzma alongside Giannis against Charlotte. He played great in that game, had like 29 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 1 block. He just had a huge game. And then he started again against the Lakers on Saturday night and was terrible. He had played 19.5 minutes, had 1 point, 1 rebound, 1 turnover, had 5 fouls in 19 minutes. It was also a game that the Bucks got blown out. So if you look at Kuzma's minutes in that game against the Lakers, in the first quarter, he played a pretty long stint. He played about a 9-minute stint in the first quarter. He did have 2 fouls in the first quarter. He didn't sub out, though, after he got his second foul. Like, he stayed in. And then he subbed back in the second quarter with about 6 minutes left. So Kuzma played about 15 minutes in the first half. So he was pacing to play about 30 minutes. But then in the the second half and in the third quarter, he picked up 2 fouls in 4 minutes, and he picked up his 4th foul with 8 minutes left, subbed out, and then he didn't sub back in until there was about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and he played about 1 minute before subbing out because it was a blowout. So Kuzma's minutes were really cut down in the second half because not only of foul trouble, but also a blowout. He wasn't playing that well, so like it's not like they were they weren't really rushing to get him back on the floor because he wasn't playing great. But it was basically just worst case scenario for Kuzma last game. He played terrible. It was a blowout. He was in foul trouble. We can't expect that to happen every game. And I'm assuming Kuzma's going to stick in the starting lineup. I know he didn't play great last game, but he played great in the game before that he started. I think Kuzma's a guy that can provide some offense for this Bucks team. That's kind of something they need. Obviously, Giannis has been just dominating and really just runs the whole he's the whole engine of this Bucks offense. But if Kuzma can produce like he did against Charlotte, if he can have those games where he can score, rebound, do a little facilitating, that's obviously going to be super valuable for this Bucks team. So I'm expecting Kuzma to once again start here. I'm expecting him to play about 30 minutes. Kuzma historically has been a player that when he gets minutes, he can be productive. I mean, you look so far this season with the Bucks, he's averaging .93 fantasy points per minute. When he was on the Wizards, he averaged over a fantasy point per minute. Obviously, playing on the Wizards versus playing on the Bucks, he had a much bigger role on the Wizards than he does on Milwaukee. But still, Kuzma's a guy that can be productive when he gets minutes, and I think he plays like 30 minutes here. If you look so far this season, in games where Kuzma has played at least 28 minutes, he's had 25.1, 16.7, 22.6, 38, 24.6, and 60.5 fantasy points. Now, I think a couple of those games might have been without Giannis, but still, when he's played at least 28 minutes this season, he's over this line in like 5 out of 6 games. If you even numb it down to games where he's played at least 22 minutes and games with at least 22 minutes this year, Kuzma's over this line in 7 out of 9 games. So just goes to show you, when he gets the minutes, he's relatively productive. I think the minutes should be there in this spot. Again, I'm expecting him to stick in the starting lineup moving forward, at least for a couple games. Maybe if he struggles, maybe they change it up. But they've been starting Kuzma the last 2 games. I don't see why they changed that here. And if Kuzma's starting, I think 21.5 fantasy score is a bit low of a line for him, even in maybe a little bit of a tougher matchup against Cleveland. So that's the second prop I like for today, guys. And then the last prop that I like is in the Raptors and Hornets game. And I like Jakob Poeltl for more than 27.5 fantasy score. So Jakob Poeltl started off the season playing pretty poorly. His minutes were also down at the beginning of the season because he was in foul trouble in a bunch of games. Like, he was in constant foul trouble for like 3 games in a row. He's also been dealing with a back injury that's kind of cut his minutes down. There's been a couple games this year where he's been on a minutes limit because of his injury. But it looks like he's no longer on a minutes limit. The last 4 games, Poeltl has played 25, 30, 29, and 26 minutes. So he's been getting about 25 to 30 minutes their last few games. It is worth noting that some of those games were without Sandro Mamakashvili. And Mamu, he's the backup center for the Hornets. The Hornets have shown, or not the Hornets, the Raptors, excuse me. The Raptors have shown more of a willingness to play Poeltl bigger minutes without Mamu. But even last game, Mamu returned, played 22 minutes, and Poeltl still got 26 minutes. So basically, Poeltl played. It was basically a 48-minute split between Poeltl and Mamu when it comes to the center minutes. And I think most nights we're going to see that be the case. I think we're going to see Poeltl play about 26 to 30 minutes, and then we'll see Mamu get the other, like 18 to 22 minutes. So Poeltl should most nights be in line to play about 26 to 30 minutes. Obviously, that can fluctuate, depending on like foul trouble and stuff. He has been in foul trouble at times this year. But the Hornets, I don't think they're really a team that draws a lot of fouls. LaMelo's a jump shooter. Miles Bridges doesn't drive too much. Poeltl should hopefully be able to avoid foul trouble here. And Poeltl's another player that when he gets minutes, he can be productive. You look throughout his career, he's typically been a guy that averages over a fantasy point per minute. Since he's been with the Raptors the last 3 seasons, he's averaged 1.15, 1.2, and 1.03 fantasy points per minute. So when you give him 26 minutes, he's typically going to deliver over 26 fantasy points. And this is a good matchup for Poeltl going up against the Hornets. The Hornets have historically been a really good matchup for centers. So far this year, I think they've been a pretty good matchup for centers. I know they did go out and get Ryan Kalkbrenner in the draft, and he was a good defender in college. So far in the NBA, he's been an okay defender. I think the Hornets are still like a decent matchup for centers, though, that at least so far this season they have been. I think the Hornets are I think they're top 10 in points allowed, or just outside the top 10 in points allowed to centers. So it should be a pretty good matchup for Pirtle here. And again, I think the minutes are going to be solid. He's been playing good minutes as of late, doesn't seem to be on a minutes restriction anymore. And if you look at Pirtle so far this season, when he's played at least 24 minutes, he has gone over this fantasy score line in, I believe, 4 out of 6 games he's gone over this line. One of the games he went under was against San Antonio, which is a really tough matchup, going up against Wemby. And then he also went under against Milwaukee. Milwaukee, not the easiest matchup for centers. Giannis, obviously a great defender there. Milwaukee's historically not been a great matchup for centers because of, Giannis being able to kind of protect the paint and stuff like that. But Charlotte should be a good matchup for centers. It's historically been a good matchup for centers. If you give me 25 plus minutes from Jakob Poeltl in this spot, I think we got a pretty good chance of him going over this fantasy score line. So that's what I'm liking, guys. 3 plays here for this Monday NBA slate. Again, we've been crushing our NBA plays lately, 6-0 on the last 6 picks that we've given out on this YouTube channel. Went 3-0 on our Saturday NBA plays in Patreon, 5-0 on our Sunday NBA plays in Patreon. So just been doing really well. If you guys, again, do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, and if you want more Prizepicks plays from me, I provide those on Patreon almost every single day. Check that out if you're interested. It's linked down below in the description. You can see all that I do provide in the Patreon package here. It's $20 per month, so it's very affordable. If you want to get an annual membership, you save 15% by getting an annual membership, so it cuts the cost down to $17 per month. I know the annual membership is a little bit more of a commitment, but for those of you that are interested in that, you could do that as well. Highly recommend you guys check out the Patreon, though. See all that I do have to offer over there. Again, everything that I provide in the Patreon package is linked in the description down below. Check it out if you're interested. But that's what I got, guys, for this Monday NBA slate. Let's go 3-0. Let's keep this winning streak going, and hopefully we can cash out again here on this Monday slate. But as always, guys, appreciate you watching. Appreciate your support. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Before you guys do get out of here, hit that subscribe button as well. And again, if you don't have an account on Prizepicks, make sure to go sign up for Prizepicks. Use that promo code NOAH. When you sign up, you play $5, you'll get $50 worth of free lineups just for using that promo code NOAH. But good luck, guys. Let's cash out today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.